because for some reason it tends to not want to start until after about 5 seconds. All right, folks. Well, welcome to the Battlefront Livestream Podcast number 4. This is a podcast / live stream series, more of a live stream series, but it's in a podcast format because as we go along, we'll be doing questions from the folks in the chat. But also, of course, from time to time, I will try to have somebody from the Star Wars podcast community or elsewhere in the Star Wars fan community come in with me to be on the show so we can talk about Star Wars topics as we play, as opposed to just being a show where we talk about what we're seeing on the screen. I am your regular host, Nathan P. Butler, of Star Wars Beyond the Films, the Star Wars Timeline Gold, the Star Wars Reports Rebels Roundtable, etc., etc., etc. You can find the podcast over at StarWarsReport.com, along with some recent reviews of some Star Wars materials that have been coming out from Disney, Lucasfilm Press, and elsewhere, along with a review of Battlefront itself. And with me, like the guy who always says this kind of thing on our other podcast, Mr. Mark Hurliman. Hey, Mark.
Hey, how goes it?
It's pretty cool.
PlayStation 4,
it's like,
finally here.
Yeah, it's like Star Wars Beyond the Films, uncensored, because we don't have to censor ourselves on the live stream. So me and Mark have been doing Beyond the Films for a while now, and as we're gearing up towards recording, hopefully tonight, about Kanan the Last Padawan, we were thinking, we'll have some time this morning, why not jump into some Battlefront and do a live stream? So, Mark, what do you want to jump to? We've got multiplayer options where we can get some more XP. I'm almost to level 13 in the jetpack. We got the missions if you want to tackle any of the survival things. What do you want to jump to? I know. Well, actually, maybe make absolutely certain that I turn off my Jakku thing because I know you don't have that yet. You'll have that on Tuesday.
Yeah, Gavin's been like, "What is it? What is it?"
You'll have it on Tuesday, damn it.
It's why I wanted the other package.
Yep. And you got
yeah,
and
I
yes,
don't really care.
I say, folks, heard that right. It was Gavin, Jaina, and Taylor Jade. I don't have any kids yet, but we're gonna have Cade if it's a boy. So I'm kind of following your footsteps, just very, 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 very slowly.
Nice.
So missions multiplayer. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I don't care. Whatever you think will gain us the most experience faster.
Experience, definitely multiplayer.
Flight last night and ended up. I finally, in one session of play, I went up 2 ranks and actually made the center location twice. I was like, "Holy cow!
Nice.
How did that happen?"
Nice. Have you done much with heroes and villains, or heroes versus villains?
No, I've done it once or twice. We can give it a whirl.
Yeah, so that's a good one to try out. Just because on the base command game, on the wait a second, that's kind of uneven. On the whatchamacallit, on the app, the companion app, the way to unlock the heroic cards, like the way to unlock Luke Skywalker's card to play with him as a unit in that game, is you have to play as him 20 times in the console game. The problem is that the battle missions and whatnot in single player / co-op don't count. So you have to do it in multiplayer. So the easiest way to get your 20 is to just play heroes and villains quite a bit. I haven't unlocked any of them at 20 yet, but I'm slowly getting there. All right.
Interesting. There's a lot of things I'm learning slowly about this one. Like when I'm doing the pilot one, I keep hitting that down direction pad thinking of evasive maneuvers from Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, don't change the view.
I've done that, switching views over and over. Oh, we're in a match that's already started. We're the rebels getting our balls kicked. Whatever.
That's always fun. It's always fun to start out and you're already losing. Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Man, I feel like
weird things about this.
I feel like I'm running for president against Trump. I'm starting out and I'm already having losing. Here we go. So this is actually the first time we've been able to get you on the live stream. So I guess the first question to ask in general is, what do you think of Battlefront so far? There's been a lot of criticisms. It's been a very divisive game so far. What would if you were to encapsulate a quick review, what would your review be of it?
Well, keeping in mind that it's been a long time since I've actually played, I would say currently, I've played Battlefront on my original Xbox with Gavin quite a bit, but that's just him and I, like I was really good at that game. This game I am not so good at. It's a definite learning curve. I definitely feel like there is a definite unfair advantage to the people that bought the deluxe set that I wish I would have got.
Yeah, that is something that
frustration there.
That's something that came up recently in, I think it was Angry Joe's review of it that I hadn't even thought of. But yes, the gun that I'm carrying when I'm not Han Solo like I am right now, I'm carrying around that DL-44, which is basically Han's blaster from the original trilogy, and that is the last gun that you can unlock in the core game. And yet, if you bought the deluxe edition for $10 extra, you got it unlocked immediately. And it's arguably the best gun in the game. It is or at least one of the best guns in the game. It fires fast, and it's a pretty good. What the crap? Running away. It fires fast, and it's a pretty high damage weapon too. And yet, that's the thing right there. Is you get into the multiplayer, and it gets just insanely like when I was doing the missions mode. You know, I felt competent. I was like, okay, I'm blasting a lot of guys. But then it gets to the tally, and you're like, wait a minute, I could have swore I shot like 12 guys. How did I only get 4? And that's lucky. Yep. Yeah,
I think the missing the campaign mode for me is something that's, the more I play it, like I found myself in the first couple days, no one else was online. And so I was really getting bored really fast. I'm like, I suck at this game. This is not fun. And the mission modes, like, it kind of gave you a sense of a story mode at times, but then after a while, you're like, okay, clearly it's the same thing over and over and over again. But there's some really cool maps and stuff, and when you get with everyone else and stuff, and you got somebody else to play with, it definitely increases it. But yeah, that finding people is the hardest part sometimes. Ooh, Boba Fett.
Boba Fett, where?
I gotta shut up now. Boba Fett's shooting me in the butt.
I'm about to die.
That I think
whoever's Leia needs to drop a freaking health thing.
Yeah, come on, Leia.
Come on, Leia, drop a health thing. Yeah. Honor guard. There we go. Oh, there's Leia.
Palpatine.
Got for Papa Palpatine. There we go.
Yeah, Palpatine. Yeah, there's a character I don't like to play. Palpatine's got some weird powers, like.
Oh, but you gotta love that he does the jumping, spinning thing. Come on now.
That's fun. that was cool. But I didn't know how to use it. I'm like, is the robe hurting them? What is it?
Yeah, the robe is slapping them across the face.
You're like, ow! I got a cut on my eye.
You will know the power of the body odor. Nice.
I like that, like, you can blow up the windows with the grenades and stuff. It does feel like, though, that not a lot of the stuff is as explosive as I'd like it. Like, it'd be cool if, like,
destructible environments, you mean?
More.
Yeah.
Yeah. I miss that. I miss the squad-based commands. That's something that I really utilized the crap out of in Battlefront 2. You know, once I was a general, you'd have 4 people you could point at and have them follow you. I think the emote thing is probably one of the stupidest things that could have added to this damn game. That is no point, no value whatsoever. I have no desire to save up points and buy anything beyond the 3 that they gave me. I'm like, it's just a waste of my button function. I'm like, what is the point of this?
Yeah,
like,
the emotes...
Unless I'm just not realizing it. Like, am I supposed to be pushing the button to get, like, sassy points or something?
No, I mean, that's sort of that's almost an MMO thing. You know, to have the emotes in there. I know on Destiny, the emotes have become sort of a big thing. In fact, that's one of the only things they're selling with actual microtransactions in Destiny is emotes at this point, because they have no direct effect on gameplay, so people can't say it's pay to win. Now, there was an article. Whoa, Palpatine, mother! I guess first off, you may be noticing the same thing. Maybe you're experiencing it, but if you notice, as soon as a round starts, the first time you spawn, if you spawn as something other than a hero in that first spawn of a round, you won't be able to use any of your left R1, L1, or power-up buttons. They just don't fucking work. And I have no idea why, but apparently they're saying, I'm hearing it said that this is something that they did on purpose as a way of basically, kind of controlling the rapid attacks right upon spawn, but it seems kind of sucky to me.
Huh.
I'll play as Leia, overdressed for the occasion.
It's so hot. Why is it so hot?
But, okay, so I was saying there was an article that came out very recently. I think it was an interview that Brian Jorgensen, I believe is his name, the CFO of EA, he gave this interview at a recent conference. And at the conference, he basically said that, we admit that this game is not a game that's going to have everything that the hardcore gamers want. That this is, of course the hardcore gamers will find this lacking because we wanted it to be, and I know he used the word that to you is like saying fuck in the middle of church, accessible. They did it, they wanted to make it accessible. I knew you would probably have something to say about the accessibility issue. What do you think? Is the game accessible? Is it too accessible? Is it just accessible enough for anybody to jump in? Because their version of accessibility in this case, from what the way they described it, was less about skill level and more about age level.
Yeah, it seems like, the accessibility part is like, anybody can go in and play, but like that doesn't seem any more accessible than any other video game. I think, getting rid of the campaign mode really lowered the accessibility because as soon as you get into the mission play, out of the mission play, into the multiplayer, as soon as you get into multiplayer, it gets insane. You're like, you take 2 steps and it's just like playing Bond, the 007 N64 version with one-hit kills. And yet, it's like you've got the handicap on because you could shoot a mofo 58,000 times and he ain't dying, and yet, bam, 2 shots, you're respawning over and over again. I think that was the thing that frustrated the piss out of me. And it's like, I don't consider myself a hardcore gamer, but I did not find it accessible at all. I mean, I miss Battlefront in the aspect of having classes that I could pick from, little station where I can go and change them up if I wanted to be a different guy. Those things I'm really missing that. There is a lot of aspects about this game that I don't feel are accessible at all unless you're a hardcore gamer. I mean, I was pushing for that deluxe pack, but now that I know what I'm missing out on, I'm like really kicking myself in the butt for not looking even harder. I got to that point where I was like, well, there's none local. I'm more afraid, like, I'm never going to even get this game at this point because everybody's buying it. I went to go back down to Walmart, and the one there was sold, so we had to go over to Freddy's to get it. I'm just like, come on, all the places online, I couldn't find it, so I went with the other one, and now I'm totally kicking myself in the butt, None of the content's available. There's a total learning curve there. You just feel like you're behind the gun the whole time. These other people, you feel like there's this conspiracy theory after a while where you're playing the game and you're like, I swear to God, like these 5 people are just all teaming up and just beating the shit out of me, man. What the hell's going on?
It's like, no, you just suck.
Yeah.
I would say, I wonder, I'd be interested to see some stats, and over in the chat, the 5 has shown up saying, hey Nathan, loving the live stream, it keeps me excited for Battlefront since my computer's being upgraded to be able to play it. Again, that's why I don't do the PC gaming, just because I've had way too many instances of trying to play a game on PC only to find that my system can't handle it. Although, I guess in Mark's case here, it was almost as bad, right? Because you wound up having to go and basically finally jump into this generation, skipping a generation, and finally pick up a PlayStation 4 to be able to play at all. And you said it was tough to find. But you wound up getting a bundle, correct?
Yeah, I got one that came with Battlefront. It came with Jedi Starfighter and 3 other old Star Wars games. Super Star Wars was one of them.
Nice.
And surprisingly, I was not expecting the no disc. So I got to admit, I kind of felt a little gypped because I have no physical pack for the game, nothing, no booklet for the game.
Well, to be fair, most games at this point aren't even coming with the booklets anymore. They're just the case and the disc, and pretty much every game is requiring some type of install where the disc is usually just more like a key. I had the same thing happen. I picked up the Xbox One, and when I picked up the Xbox One, it had let's see, Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Assassin's Creed Unity free. And, of course, both of them were downloads, so it did take a while. This is before I realized that I should move my Xbox One, as I finally have, into the bedroom so that it was closer to the wireless access point. So it took days to download both games. It got one within, I think, a day and a half. I was glad that I had bought Halo, the Master Chief Collection. And again, I'm trying to use that fucking shoulder button to throw a grenade, and I die immediately because on that first spawn, it's not letting me do it.
Dang.
But no, I'm glad I had Halo, the Master Chief Collection, because I was able to just get that, put the disc in, and install it. And after an hours-long update, I was able to play it instead of waiting days the way I had to with the Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah.
Become a bodyguard.
That, I think, was one of the things I was not expecting, because when I uploaded the game, it took, I don't even know. I mean, we went to play, and we had to put it off to the next day, because I wasn't expecting it to take as long as it did.
Yeah, that was me staying up until, 4 o'clock in the morning, being like, he's going to be able to play. He's going to be able to play. It's like, I'm at 40%. Shit, I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed.
Yep. Not happening tonight.
I give up. I give up. I give up.
So how does it work when you rent a game? If these games are working more like discs,
you rent it,
how does that work?
I have yet to actually see a rental game place, with the exception, I mean, like, there's like a GameFly or something like that. But beyond that, I don't know that I've seen a game rental thing.
Boxes show it, and I was like, whoa, I didn't know you could. And then I was like, why don't I rent the deluxe edition and get all the...
In theory, what it should be is that whatever it... Well, I don't know if you... Well, see, because the deluxe... Okay, so from what I understand, the deluxe edition, if you have it on disc, required you to use a code in order to access... I'm just going to chop Leia up, because whoever's playing as Leia seems to not be actually playing. So... I'm gonna kill some Leia.
They were Vader earlier.
Oh, the person who was just like standing there doing nothing?
Yeah. Yeah, I chopped him down, was like, alright, Vader.
Oh! Okay,
Luke.
So Luke has just struck Vader down, and it's a Return of the Jedi looking Luke, so that should mean that his journey towards the dark side is complete. Right? Doesn't that mean that he should now be evil? He should change sides? Somebody mentioned that in a previous live stream. That was not my original idea.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I would assume that what's happening with that is that if you buy it, if you rent a disc, you put it in, you install it, and if it's a disc-based game, you still have to have the disc to be able to play. The data is still on your hard drive, but you can't access it without the disc. So it's basically just taking up hard drive space. It'd be like
having a different user account.
Yeah, kind of like having a different user account. It'd be like you've got a PC game that requires a... Oh shit, I'm Palpatine, must fry. You've got a registration code, but you still have your disc, but you've lost the code. It's the equivalent of that. I still have my disc, but if without the code, I can't do squat. It's just the opposite. I have my data, but I don't have the disc itself.
So one thing that really drives me nuts about this game is there's no target lock.
No, there's not.
I can target people.
Well, there is when you're flying. When you're flying, there's target lock.
Yes, or maybe I'm
soft
not
lock
knowing
or whatever.
How to use it. Okay, yeah, because I have to hold down the button. And it's like as soon as they fly behind me, there's nothing that tells me where they at. I miss that ability. Like it makes hunting down. The same guy that shoots you over and over again to the point where you're like, I need to get some serious frickin' retribution, revenge. Impossible. Like, there's been a few people where I'm like, when I'm playing multiplayer and it's like that one guy's just so good that it's like every time you spawn, the bastard's shooting you in the head.
Well, probably because he's standing there camping on the spawn point. He's like standing at the spawn point because this game's spawn points are kind of ridiculous. There aren't a lot of spawn points that are like a lot of games, the spawn points will be relatively defensible, or they'll have so many different spawn points that when you die, it'll automatically select a point that doesn't have an enemy standing on top of it and spawn you there. Not so much here, especially on Walker Assault. I find Walker Assault on Hoth, even back in the beta, people were camping the spawn points like crazy.
Oh, fun.
Oh, damn it, it's the beginning of a round. I just picked up a smart rocket, but again, since it's the first life on that round, I can't do shit. I've got the rocket, and I can't fire it. They really need to make that clear at some point in game. This is your first life, therefore you will not be able to use any of your power-ups or abilities.
Yeah, that... Well, and that's like with the Starfighter, with the whole throttle and the weapons, like...
Yeah, they need to make that clear, too. Yeah, I didn't...
Oh, that's why?
I had to learn that from the guide. From the Collector's Edition guide thing. Which, honestly, I think the guide is worth it, at least as far as finding the whatchamacallit. Oh, I'm number 1. Woo! Finding the... What's the word I'm looking for? The collectibles that you can find in the missions. I haven't done the collectibles at all on any of the battle ones, but I've collected all the collectibles on the survival mode to this point. Though I still have some survival mode stuff to do as hard, and I have yet to do any of the survival mode as master.
Nice. I'm Palpatine, who just...
Woo!
That's the weirdest damn walk. He looks like he's like somebody that stole a baby and is running out. Like, I'm gonna get away with this child. He's gonna fuel my force machine.
Well, as apparently as we knew from Rebels Roundtable, but Rebels Recon, as we discussed on Rebels Roundtable recently, Palpatine was taking them kids to help him see the future or some crazy shit. So,
yeah.
Ooh. Dead. You will die. You will die. You will all die. Death's for
like
everyone.
Palpatine should have better. I don't know. Like, Palpatine should be the DL-44 of the hero pack, And I just don't feel like he's really bringing much heat. Boba Fett seems to have more weapons at his disposal.
Yeah, Fett is much better than Palpatine, I think. But Palpatine and Leia are sort of like they're sort of the support characters in a sense. They're designed so that, for instance, if Palpatine were still alive, are you alive? I don't know if you're alive. But Palpatine can use the triangle button and drop a health item so that some other hero who's low on health can grab the health item.
That's what that is. Okay. Now, here's something that really ticks me off. Back and forth.
You want to do Fighter Squadron or something to change it up?
Sure.
Okay.
The back and forth, especially with Fighter Squadron, it can get really confusing because I get so used to hunting down TIE fighters 1 minute and then I'm switching to the other that I end up shooting my own people for like...
And it changes every match. As long as you're still in that queue, it changes every single match. I actually had to go back. I had a customized Stormtrooper that had the bald head and the goatee, kind of like I have for my Rebel. And I had to finally go back with my Imperial and just put the freaking Stormtrooper helmet back on because I was having the hardest time remembering which side I was on some of these maps where you're dealing with, it's a background that's mostly white. Your gear is relatively similar looking, especially on Hoth. So if I'm running around as a Stormtrooper or a Rebel, if I got my helmet off, I have no idea which one I am. I get confused. I'm so confused. There we go.
And then that's the other one, too. Like, I don't mind playing as a girl, but I like being able to pick.
You're talking about for survival?
One of the things. Yeah, just in general, I don't get to pick who I look like. I'm like,
Well, I mean, you get to choose in multiplayer. You choose your appearance. But in any of the missions, it just throws you in as one or the other.
And it's interesting that the Rebels have so many models unlocked, but the Empire only has
initially.
They're like, well, you got a helmet on, it doesn't matter.
Yep. Now I think we ought to point this out. I think this is a point for some political incorrectness because you realize that this game is saying you can choose male or female. It's not recognizing that there are apparently other genders than male or female these days. This game is genderist. It's not really sexist. Is that sexist? Does that count as sexist?
It's not LGBT friendly, that's for sure.
It's definitely not. Well, I mean, you don't know. Your character could be a gay man or a lesbian woman, but or a bisexual or whatever. I'm thinking more in terms of the ability to essentially decide for yourself. And you cannot decide. You cannot, unless you're on survival. And if you're in survival and they throw you into a gender, you cannot assert that you are a different gender based on your psychological makeup, different than biological. Just dig in a hole, though.
There was the artificial, the AI fighters. I was blasting the hell out of all them
Yes!
because they're easy to shoot.
My first time getting to play as Slave 1, dude.
Nice.
Yeah! Now, in this era, I think it's for the first time.
To the walls kind of guy, or do you slow it down and have more
in order to
firepower?
shoot and kill, I slow it down.
Yeah, it's about all you can do, and hope to God nobody comes up on your butt.
But I'm wondering now. So, given this era, I guess I must be Boba Fett flying in it. But I kind of want to think that I'm still Hondo. I'm rich. I'm dead. I mean, even Aura Singh got to fly. Oh, and I was trying to go. That was bullshit. I tried to go down and grab a health power up and didn't realize how long the bottom of Slave 1 hung down. I hit the ground and killed myself. Yeah. The first time I ever had to play as Slave 1 and I killed myself. There's somebody in the Millennium Falcon.
I hit the button so fast on the respawn and I end up picking the TIE Fighter. I somehow do worse with the top set of fighter craft.
Really?
And that sucks because I love the X-Wing.
I don't feel like there's a huge difference between them. I feel like we talk about the lack of customization in it's the lack of deep customization in the multiplayer in general. But you get to Fighter Squadron and you realize, holy crap, there's basically only two different vessels or two different starfighters to choose from on either side, unless you are lucky enough to get the power-up that's going to be able to let you fly as Slave 1 or the Millennium Falcon. I mean, that's that's a ridiculously limited set of choices.
See, and I miss, like, some games had...
We must have come in mid-match again.
Through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we must have.
Yeah, there needs to be some... I've said it before, there definitely needs to be some type of, like, random... just press the button and it will just keep shuffling modes on you as it goes. Yeah. We need something like that. Otherwise, I mean, there's a thing on the menu that says random pick, but you still have to choose it every time, and you still have to jump out of that match.
If they gave you a custom button layout where you could customize your buttons.
Yeah. Can you not do that on the menu screen? I haven't actually tried it.
No. They have options, but they're limited. There's like 3 or 4 of them. Because like at first, like I didn't care for the standard layout of the Starfighter one, but then after I went through all the rest, I'm like, okay, no, clearly I do like the main one. It took me a while to figure that out, but like Battlefront 1, you had the ability to lay down. They took that away in Battlefront 2. I missed that.
Well, now for what it's worth,
you had the ability to hit like the O button, and you would be able to do like a running dive. I really missed that when
I think both of those
are coming down.
I think both of those are a matter of the engine. The game uses the Frostbite 3 engine, the same one that's used for Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline, and I don't think you could do that in either of them either. I think it's an engine limitation, which I guess we're kind of stuck with because for at least the foreseeable future, EA has the license, so unless Visceral were to do it, like EA and DICE are kind of joined at the hip at this point. Kenny Crayley in the chat says...
One of the features I always liked was being able to scroll through, all the enemies on the battlefield and then having one button that was like the closest one to you.
Yeah, that can lock onto them.
A steady lock. Like, God, that really...
I'm not even sure that...
having to hold my fingers a special way so I can hit that shield button one more time because I need the protection.
I'm not even sure we need a lock button so much as you just need to be able to have a way to more easily tell where enemies are. Especially on some of those environments where it's tough to see. Kenny Crayley in the chat's noting that he's hoping that there are more heroes and villains in the DLC in the future, aside from just the 6 that are in the game, and does note, in agreement with some of the stuff that I've said on previous live streams, that the voice acting is very hit or miss. Have you heard Vader talk, Mark?
Vader is really bad. Leia is... Like, what the heck?
See, Leia I haven't heard much.
Han wasn't so Hanish.
Hanish?
Yeah, there was...
That's not a word, I don't think.
No.
Just saying.
And another thing, the evasive maneuvers on this don't function very well. Like, I feel like you do it and the person's still right on your butt because it wasn't that evasive, and then...
Yeah, the evasive maneuvers are kind of pansy.
It takes so long to redo. I remember in Battlefront 2, I would use the evasive maneuvers to really strafe the hell out of bad guys. On this one, I'm like, you do it once, and then you're like, oh crap, come on, build back up. Which gets back to that accessibility thing when you're playing in the multiplayer with the cards. You know, the people that have paid for the extra stuff, they get that access to those things. Like, what is it, the focus that allows you to focus in on people easier, where it's like they're just one-shot killing you all the time.
Yeah. Oh, trying to take out the Imperial shuttle.
I'm just like, I don't feel like it's accessible to somebody that doesn't have cash.
I think it's
cash. Yeah, this game's accessible all day long.
Oh, that was pretty badass. Explosion on the Imperial transport, and I flew through it. Oh yeah.
Oh, I did one of those. Yeah.
I must be that. I definitely am not that. I must be Tycho or someone, because I'm or Shia, I think her name is, from Shattered Empire, because I'm definitely not Arvil, because I didn't crash headfirst in it to kill it like a suicide pilot. Brian Veazey in the chat asks, have you played Galaxy of Heroes yet? If you have, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I actually haven't, because it doesn't seem like a game that has a story content to look at, and I'm still leveling up my character from 58, trying to get to the level cap on on Star Wars Uprising right now. Have you played Galaxy of Heroes? Oh, no, going for the Millennium Falcon.
I was trying to do Uprising for a little while, and I ended up sticking with Commander, and then got frustrated with that. But they did another update, and I'm like, do I want to go back? But now with this, I'm like, I don't need another thing to take my attention away from editing.
Yeah, that's true. I have 2 episodes of Rebels Roundtable I need to edit sometime in the near future. I've got a Stealth Strike that's partly done, where your daughter, your eldest daughter, wound up playing a role. And then, because you were laughing so hard you were going to puke, 4-room style. And then we have
a video off her phone.
Yeah. But then, I've got that, and I've got the one that we did for Future of the Force. Destroy 10 TIE Fighter. Wow, it's kind of fun playing as a Millennium Falcon. I am badass. That's another one. The Millennium Falcon and Slave One are also ones that I believe you have to play as 20 times to unlock their cards to play in Base Command on the Battlefield or Battlefront app. I love the app. I love Base Command. It's incredibly fun. But unlocking some of these more powerful things is rough. It takes a very long time, especially since there isn't a mode with the fighters where you start out like heroes versus villains. You can sort of, I don't want to say cheat your way to getting to 20, but you know for sure that during those rounds you're going to play as the heroes a few times, and if you play that enough, you're definitely going to unlock it. Whereas in this case, I mean, once somebody's got the Millennium Falcon like I do now, nobody else can be the Millennium Falcon until that person dies, and it's pretty freaking difficult to die as the heroes unless you do like I did, like an idiot, and slam into the ground.
Yeah. I watched one guy. He was really good at getting the power up. So I was like, good God, this guy's never gonna lose it.
Yep. Whoa. I'm just tearing these guys apart. Oh, missile incoming, enemy locked. Do a barrel roll. Nice Star Fox reference there. There we go. Going after Boba Fett.
There definitely is something satisfying about blowing up an actual person versus the computer, though.
This is true.
They work.
They work harder not to die. Yeah.
I do find that I can't help but swear at people when I start getting shot a lot.
Yet another reason why, since I don't edit the live streams are the profanity's okay spaces.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hello to Titan the Boss. Hello to Marcus Aria Alexander. Welcome. Oh, shit. Whoa, almost smacked myself against a pole. Oh, go. Oh, nope, that was shields, not the boost. There's the boost.
So, one of the things that
we won
I miss
for once
about gaming Yeah, no doubt. Well, by 4 too. That was.
Oh,
close.
and I'm number 1.
Hey, look at that top dog.
But it only counts 2 kills because I guess the other kills were all AI as opposed to players.
See, and that's where I was wondering, like, if you crash into the ground, does that take away a kill for you?
You must have been crashing into the ground a lot. Come on, baby, come on. Come on. Level 13. Level 13. Let me buy the jetpack. Come on.
I'm at 11. I'm getting close.
Come on. You've been playing more than I have, I guess.
One of the things when I played original games was I would get the game, and one of the first things I would do was look up the cheat codes. You know, invincible, the unlimited armor,
I'm going to jump us to another
ammo, those kind of
type, by the way.
What's that?
I'm going to jump us to another type.
Okay, that's fine. But yeah, it's like, I don't think that there's anything like that for this, and that's the one thing about the way they've got the deluxe and everything that I feel like it's like, okay, if you've got money, you got the cheat code, in a sense. You know,
in a sense,
you're
yeah.
able to buy and unlock all the stuff.
Actually, let me show people that real quick. What he's talking about is if you bought the... Let me get to my collect settings here and go to unlocks. If you bought the deluxe edition, which costs an extra $10, you immediately had the DL-44 unlocked, which is the last weapon you unlock through regular progression. So you automatically had that with extremely high damage, pretty good rate of fire range and cooling power, but extremely high damage. It's one of the highest damage guns you can possibly get. You just have to be more accurate when you're using it. For star cards, you automatically got the ion grenade unlocked, which you normally would unlock, again, through progression. And you also have, where is it? I think I've got it equipped. Oh, there it is. The ion torpedo unlocked automatically. So you basically have the 3rd and the 9th weapon unlock or star card unlocks already unlocked for you, where you don't have to pay and you don't have to wait till you progress to get there. You also, under your appearance, have the victory emote unlocked, and you have the ion shock emote unlocked. So we're in a situation, and salute, by the way, Mark, I don't know if you've done this. If you go to EA, log in with your information, and let them send you email updates about Battlefront, you'll get the salute emote free unlocked.
Oh.
But
I have to text me that later, so I'll remember to do that.
Yeah. But yeah, the whatchamacallit, the thing that you're dealing with as far as the overpowered, I absolutely agree that if you jumped in by paying for the deluxe edition and getting that DL-44, that is a pretty heavy, helpful progression given how long it takes to get there and how good it is. But I would say the same thing, at least to start with the ion torpedo. Granted, it's only the 3rd thing you unlock, but that's a huge boon when you're fighting against ATSTs in survival, for instance. I would certainly say, though, that when it comes down to it, probably the key thing for me that was the big bonus of buying when I did, doing the pre-order, is being able to play the Battle of Jakku. We have it turned off now because Mark bought it right after the fact rather than pre-ordering, so he'll have access to it on Tuesday. But just to have that extra game mode thrown in here. But a week, I think that's actually pretty nice. People talk about, I can't believe you pre-ordered and gave exclusive stuff. You suck. Well, it's only exclusive for a week. And it's the same thing like if you buy the season pass, you get access to the DLCs 1 week before anybody else does. But it's only a week,
and that's cool.
And you can still progress otherwise. Yeah, let's do some
The downside
walkers.
of that week, though, is that those poor, the people that don't have that week, they have very, very small time to learn how to
learn how to whoop everybody's
track
asses.
the map.
Yeah.
Well, the maps are I'm sightseeing. I'm like, this isn't helping me any. I'm wow, this is a really cool tunnel I found, and next thing I know, somebody's crept up behind me and they shot me in the back because they're running balls to the wall because they know exactly where to go because they've been playing it for a week, and I'm like,
right,
what's going on? Like, that's the weird angle about it. It's like I miss the level playing field like that. It's like there's no multiplayer where everyone's on the same level, except for, I guess, that Heroes one. That seems to be the closest one because at least there you get to play the hero from time to time.
Right. I'm going to try with a different hand. I'm going to choose my second hand. Oh, what am I doing? Actually, let me make my second hand my screw it. I'll just do it every time. Yeah. So we got some new questions stuff popping up. Star Wars Battlefront TM has joined us, which is interesting. Lucas Smythe has just jumped in and I missed I missed who it was that said the thing right before that, but there was a question about how do we like the Starfighter combat controls set up with one stick for speed and the other for all movement. Is that a difficult thing? I found that it was actually kind of easy to get into, but it had been so long since I've played the other Battlefront games that I still have, like on the PSP, like Renegade Squadron and Elite Squadron, that I wasn't really trying to compare it to previous controls. I wasn't expecting a particular control type, so once I got used to the whole speed up, speed down in order to increase the power of your weapons, I was fine. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, it took me a second to figure out which of the, because I tried doing the Southpaw and the Legacy, and that would get me a little confused, and eventually I ended up going back to the default. Of space combat games, the Jedi Starfighter and Starfighter games that PlayStation put out were always my favorite. It allowed you to do barrel rolls and dog rolls and all these really fun ways of spiraling that right now I miss that. I wouldn't have to use as much evasive maneuvers and stuff because of the way I was able to fly.
Right. I think that, I kind of miss, of all things, I kind of miss the old Rogue Squadron games. I love them, and I kind of wish I still had one of them, or the ability to play, I forgot I got Orbital Strike still, the ability to play one of them, because I remember that one of them you could unlock the ability through a code to play the old arcade game that I used to play at Showbiz, a.k.a. Chuck E. Cheese, in my hometown. And I love the old, the vector graphics, green and blue, and I love that game.
Yeah.
But the Wii U can't play old GameCube games. It can only play Wii games, and those were old GameCube games that I still played when I had my original Wii. Let's see. Marcus Arya Alexander says, actually really good at the Starfighter controls unless I tried first person. I am staying as far away as possible from first person when it comes to Starfighter controls. I suck bad enough on third person with the Starfighters, which again I guess is sort of like a legacy of going back and playing things like the Rogue Squadron games or Starfighter. I always played those in third person also. Though now that you've said Starfighter,
I like to be able to see around the ship. When I go into the first person skin, it's really cool, but the limited visibility really sucks. When you're playing on the walk-around game, you can kind of see the figures every now and again in the background. That would be a cool feature while you're in first-person mode, considering that's not there for the other player. It's like when you're playing Star Wars Commander and you're like, hey, how do you have the Rancor? I want the Rancor. This Rancor keeps coming in and killing me. What's going on? And Tom's like, oh, well, I'm playing on the Apple, and it's for my Apple device. I'm like, oh, I don't got that with the Android? What the hell?
Yeah. I'm thinking about... so you're just talking about the Starfighter and such. Now that you've said it again and you've mentioned it, and we just saw the Havoc, albeit not acknowledged on Rebels Recon or in any of that backstory stuff on the episode guide, now that we've seen the Havoc again show up as the Shadowcaster in Rebels, I very much want to pick up, the old Starfighter games and whatnot through the PSN Classics. It's funny, though, because they keep saying, how awesome is it that now they're going to have PS2 Classics on the PS4 that they announced this week? And I'm thinking, they did that with Star Wars games already, weeks ago in this case, and months ago before that. What's so freaking special?
Well, what I find special is that the Super Star Wars, I'm like, I'm able to play a Nintendo game on my PlayStation.
That's an interesting licensing decision.
It's very appealing. I would love to be able to play all the old classic Star Wars games that I own on the other systems, that I can pull the other systems out to play, but I'm like, oh, these graphics kind of suck. That is a really cool thing, and I would hope somebody would be thinking about paying more money to get those kind of games, because there are some older games. Crap, dude, Battlefront 1, 2, and Elite Squadron and all those other games would be great fun to play right now.
Yeah, well, Elite Squadron's the PSP one, but they've done some PSP remasters that have gone on there. I guess it's just a question of whether the profit they think they can get out of it justifies it. Of course, in this game, it was we're going to make it accessible so that we can get as much profit out of it as we can, and we've already talked about that a little on the stream here. But, I'll probably pick up, trying to get close enough to take out that frickin' walker. Definitely going to wind up picking up some of those. I just need to see which ones are available. But Super Star Wars, I have not been able to activate debug mode. That was always my thing with that game, was because you could set up the debug mode where basically you could play as any character on any level. You could jump to whatever level you wanted. It made it less frustrating than the game itself normally is, because that can be an extremely frustrating game. Oh, was that a TIE fighter that just went splooch? I think it was. It wasn't my fault, but I think it was. Mother frackin' piece of shit jump that can't reach anything! Aw, dang it, when you fire off the ion torpedo at the AT-AT directly, because it locks on, it shoots at the body. It doesn't shoot at the undercarriage, I guess, unless you're standing underneath it. So, yes, let's automatically aim for the part that's not going to do you as much good, because that makes sense. Kill the walker. 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 Oh, he killed me. Like there was ever any doubt. I mean, come on. It's a man versus a walker. Oh, there we go. There's a T-47. If I can get that sucker. And there we go. Okay. T-47. Let's see if I can trip one of these freaking walkers up. I doubt it, but let's see. Ah, damn it. I couldn't get close enough. He's standing by a railing, and I couldn't get between the railing and the AT-AT. My wing smacked the railing and blew me up. Damn it! The one time I actually get a T-47 airspeeder during one of the Walker matches outside of the beta, I wind up blowing it. Oh, well.
So something might be interesting to talk about is the rumor that they're already talking about doing the second one.
Oh, yeah.
I find it kind of odd that they're doing a second one when, I mean, I kind of think, like, shouldn't they just be focusing on adding more content to this one and just adding it as a download feature?
See, EA, you got to think in terms of the way that EA and DICE think about Battlefield and the way, for instance, that Activision thinks about Call of Duty, which is these first-person shooters these days. Yes, I can buy a jetpack now. They are thought of now as annual franchises, where basically every year expect a new release that has only modest improvements, if any improvements, over the previous years. But at least in those cases, those games have fucking story modes.
Yeah. Well, that was, I mean, I was hoping, like, you know, instead of getting told that we were going to have a sequel to the game, that they were going to be like, and we're going to have a new, you know, content. It's a campaign mode.
Well, I mean, you've got a total of 4 more DLCs coming, 5 if you count Jakku, that's not available for everyone yet. They're pay for more content, of course. Mm-hmm. But I would make the argument here also that those who talk about, well, I don't want to have to pay for, I don't want to have to pay for more content. Well, A, that's kind of normal these days, but also notice that Battlefront does not have a bunch of microtransactions either. Destiny went the other route in that after the DLCs and whatnot for the first year of it, now that they're into their second year, all the DLC essentially is free once you got the Taken King, with the difference being that as they release that content, you can, if you choose, buy things through microtransactions. So they've sort of, and the only things you're buying are cosmetic stuff that doesn't affect gameplay. So it's stuff like emotes, colors for your vehicle called the Sparrow, and things like that. But the question is whether or not the revenue stream is going to be strong enough to get it. And some asshole just ran over and got the nope. Damn it, he just took
that's something
speeder.
I'm surprised that they don't
use it, boy.
Like, okay, you've got the different skins, but it would be cool to customize your armor, you know, especially with the stormtroopers, to get like Clone Wars-esque with it, and really, you know, almost give you like a paintbrush option where you can go in there and design your own little sigils and stuff, and patterns and decals, stencils.
Yeah, anything to let you customize a little. And they don't have to worry about in-engine cutscenes.
Where's my Clone Wars Captain Rex? You know, I want the one with the hodgepodge helmet with all.
Well, there's nothing Clone Wars yet in the game. There's nothing prequel era in the game yet.
I'm just like, I'm ready for it. I want it. I want all that stuff as download content. Like, I'm like, give me. Well, but I mean, I guess that's the thing. Like, if each year the new game's going to come out, like, I hope that they're planning on adding some of the stuff that they're considering for the hardcore gamer. I still find
Yeah.
that a weird concept because I'm like, I don't consider myself a hardcore gamer, and I just want to have fun in a story mode.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Well, it's funny.
As a casual gamer that comes into an accessible, getting your butt blown up 24/7 in a multiplayer doesn't feel very accessible. It's very frustrating. It makes you want to walk away from the game at times.
To them, that's not what accessible means, though. To them, accessible means you can jump in and just play a little bit and then jump out, that there's no real time investment. And there's a T-47, no real time investment, no real need to spend a lot of time practicing. I would imagine that's part of why they've made it so that it's so easy to freaking die. And because there is no like customizable armor or anything like that. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can do this. And I'm probably going to die because of the terrain. And why did it not work? Why did it not fire my fucking tow cable? I got to the AT-AT. I tried to activate the tow cable, and it didn't work. Missiles incoming. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Nope, no activating tow cable on that one either. What the shit?
Yeah, the only other frustrating thing I'd say is the fact that most of these systems now come with only one controller. Like, that's an oddly... I don't know, that's an oddity to me. Like, it seems like anymore they seem to think that video game systems are only intended for families with single kids. It's like, well...
Yeah. Well, it's because...
my other kids get a watch, and they're like, I want to play!
Well, it's because in most games, the multiplayer isn't local anymore. The multiplayer only exists if you're playing online with someone else, in which case you don't need it there. And, okay, I was about to say that I think something is up with this map where maybe you can't use the T-47s to trip up the walkers, because every time I went around the walkers, it never let me fire the damn tow cable, right? But no, I just looked up and somebody was spinning around the walker with the tow cable. So I don't know why the hell I'm by the walker repeatedly pressing the fucking button and no tow cable ever. It never gave me the option. And then I just died because I'm trying to get up high enough to get away from the cliffs while getting low enough to activate the tow cable. Big old pile of what the fuck. But at least I'm level 13 now. So I can go get me the jetpack.
Nice.
All right, so...
I'm close. Now, if I could just have another session like I did last night where I went up 2 ranks, I'd be there.
There you go. So what mode do you want to go to? I don't really care. I'm going to go real quick and get my... I'm going to jump out of walker. Well, tell you what, let me get us back to the...
Honestly, I was in the queue the whole last time. I never got to play.
Are you serious? What the fuck?
I don't know what I did.
This is when you tell me these things. What the hell?
Well, it allowed me to focus on the conversation.
I don't even know what to say to that.
That's my noob status.
Good Lord. Okay, so jump pack is unlocked, folks. This, by the way, I would argue that this is probably the most essential piece of gear to get of any of the star cards is the jump pack. I'm hearing people saying drop zone, so we'll try drop zone perhaps. Let's see. What is the upgrade? Damn, I'm thumping my microphone again. The upgraded card, 20-second cooldown time instead of 25, but it costs 7,000 credits. No, I'm going to wait. Because pretty soon I'll be able to get the some of the trait cards finally. The bodyguard, survivalist, scout traits when I get to, I think it's level 15. I believe it is. Let me make sure. Yeah, rank 15. So I'm getting there. So let's set up a hand. A new hand. Let's get rid of pulse cannon and let's put in jetpack.
So
yes.
How do you use the second hand? Is that just like you have the hand option?
Well, when you spawn. Once you should have the option for the second hand now. Once you spawn, you know how you can go like scroll down and choose blasters. You can scroll down to hand and choose the other hand. You can also do a default hand, and actually you should be able. Let's try a multiplayer mode again. But since I've got my default hand, my primary hand, I think. Let me make sure actually. Let's see, default. Okay, yeah. So my default hand... Actually, no. That's my default hand. Alright. Shit, I'm gonna have to change this manually, aren't I? Son of a... Jetpack. I'm trying to switch it so that my default hand, assuming that that's the one that's treated as the default hand. I think I can actually change it in-game, but whatever. There we go.
So
what
have you
should
ever
have...
done Droid Run yet?
Drug Run? Did you say Drug Run? I have not. Let's do a. We had a request for drop zone. Let's do a drop zone match and then do a droid run. But no,
like
you should be able.
That's fun.
Whenever we're playing, you should actually be able to access my primary hand, and I should be able to access your primary hand if you go down to the hand choices. Which is one cool thing about being partnered up. So you should be able to use the one that's got the rocket pack if you want to. I got a rocket pack, ion shot, and impact grenade on that one, for what it's worth.
So one of the things that I found interesting is, like, I was expecting to, when I started playing multiplayer, be cussed at a lot by little kids. And that's not the case, because you don't... The parties don't work like that, at least on PlayStation 4. So I was kind of surprised by that. Like, I was like, where's all the cussing little 9-year-olds that are calling me names and telling me how much I suck ass?
Yeah. It still is just ass. I still have to change my freaking hand. What the Okay, let's go with yeah, this is the hand that I want. Fine. Press to join. Question from the chat. Let's see. Okay, yeah, default hand is set for the one that I'm getting, with the rockets and everything. The partner, thermal detonator, focus fire, and impact grenade. Cool, so, yeah. We had the question of if a DLC comes out for The Force Awakens, what planets would you like to see? I gotta be honest, I don't know I haven't been super spoilerific when it comes to The Force Awakens, so I haven't really paid attention to all the different planets, and I read 2 of the little Tales from Whatever stories last night, Face of Evil and High Noon on Jakku, and I honestly don't even remember the name of the planet. I think Takodana or something like that from Takodana. Not Takobo, not Taco Bar from Rebels, but Takodana. But that's about the only one that I've even really paid that much attention to, and that's just because that short story was in it, which, by the way, is awesome. That Face of Evil actually has a twist in it I did not see coming, and it's a creepy-ass story, too. So if you like short Star Wars... Damn, I'm getting fucking smoked. If you like Star Wars horror stories, and you're looking for one that's creepy and has some nice twists and turns, that short story Face of Evil is a good one, and it's only like $1.99 as an ebook. It's going to be coming out as part of a... anthology type version sometime in the near future. I think it's March. Maybe it's March. No, I think March is when they're putting out all those Foreign and New Hope, Empire and Jedi adaptations as a hardback.
Oh my god. This level's one where people can really hide out.
Yes.
I remember one time I was playing this, and there was a guy that had a jetpack, and he was up on top of the sandcrawler and just sniping everybody non-stop.
Thought for a second I was an Imperial. I saw the guy, wanted to shoot him. Thought for a second, wait, I'm an Imperial. I'm in white. No, I'm not. Happens.
See, that
every
really
so often.
Ticks me off.
Constantly.
The whole concept of Star Wars is pick your faction, light side, dark side, Empire, Rebellion, and it's like, no, you don't get an option here. You're going to be both. We're going to bounce you back and forth nonstop. I mean, what if you absolutely hated playing on the Rebel side? You're like,
then you're
I'm all
screwed.
about the armor, I'm all about the kit. Yeah, you're like, okay, this is great. I can spend half my time waiting because I'm dropping out of the game because I ain't playing as no flippin' rebel.
Yep. There you are. Walking beside you. You got your helmet. I got my bald head. Yeah. Doing my little...
Hey, there's Bonnie.
Ion shock. Pointless ion shock. That's one of my emotes. That's the one. That is my. If I really do kill somebody in an awesome way, I don't teabag. I'm going to stand on top of him and do an ion shock, so I sound like I'm a frying chicken on top of his head.
Zoidberg.
All right, here we go. Up. Trying to go around. Come on, don't die. There's. Oh. That stormtrooper. Oh, he got you, but at least I got revenge for you, bruh. I got revenge for you. Nobody else seems to be playing Drop Zone by the actual objectives. Of course, it's not like I was doing it very much. Got a fan from Australia checking in, and Michael Kilgore checking in. Hopefully no relation to the villain from Jessica Jones, who's so awesome.
Yeah. Or Kilgrave, yeah. Dude, I've been watching that show. That's good. So I really miss the dodge maneuver. That's something
like a rolling dodge kind of thing?
Start shooting me. Yes, I tried to do it, and I'm like, damn it!
I think that's a function of the fact...
orbital strike comes down on this, too.
I think that's because it's a first-person shooter primarily, and third-person is sort of the secondary thing. Because in third-person shooter games, a lot of times you can do that, but first-person you usually can't. So I think that's just kind of a conceit to it. I'm playing in third. I don't know about you. I'm playing in third-person.
Right now I'm in first, but I bounce back and forth.
Oh, balls! Dang.
Yeah, actually I was playing first person.
Oh, no, can't do it that way. Time to change to first. Oh, son of a... Where is it even? Eh?
We've identified the position of another escape pod.
Freaking A.
I shoot you, you do not die, you kill me. Always works.
I always have to do the little scream when I do the jetpack. I gotta say the animations on the characters are fantastic.
Well, everything about this game is fantastic. I like
shit!
Walking over here to the edge of the thing and looking over at Jabba's palace or whatever the hell it is. That ain't Jabba's palace across the way, is it?
I honestly have no idea which direction you're looking. Oh, up there?
Oh, I'm looking away across the valley from the
no, I don't know what that is. Not off the top of my head, at least.
Oh, God, there I go again. I'm shooting my own guy, and then he got mad and killed me. Sorry, lip potato. Jeez, you didn't have to shoot me in the back. Yeah, that rebel took revenge for me. Fuck.
Yeah, I managed to...
It's an accident, bro.
I managed to move backward a second. I'm not familiar with where the different map boundaries are on these yet, so I managed to scoot back a moment ago and walk myself or jump myself directly off a cliff.
Oh, well, here's
kind of like you were doing the other day.
Level of Tatooine, and I walked off into the boundary, and there was a trail, and it kept going. I'm like, why is there a boundary if it keeps going like this? Like, I want to know what's on the other ridge.
God. Well, at least I killed him. Hey, it's Lipinator. It's the guy that killed you.
Lipinator. He's so nice.
He's a Lipinator. He's a great... Yeah. Sorry. About to fall into a Phineas and Ferb. It's a Sithinator. Yeah.
Okay.
Make
Are
you
the
the greatest of the dark.
bad or good? Is
What?
that when they shot me? I thought droids were on our side.
We're rebels. The pro droids are on the Imperial side.
Damn it! Every time, man. I'm spinning at the level. I need to be a third person for that reason alone. Damn, man.
Yep. I'm thinking that at some point I'm going to take both the helmets off, but I'm going to make my Imperial basically Finn. I'm going to pick one of the black male character models and have the rebel be the white dude, and that way at least I can tell the difference based on the race of the characters, even when sometimes they're a little bit tough to discern otherwise.
Post Guatemalan.
Well, yeah, yes, he is. And interesting fact for those who are interested in history, until about 500 years ago, there was no such thing as Hispanic as a race. Because, and they say, well, why is it that people are confusing Poe as being a white guy? Well, it's because historically the existence of Latin American, Hispanic, whatever you want to refer to it as, of that race, comes out of the intermarrying of Native Americans in the former Portuguese and Spanish colonies in Latin America with the Peninsulares, with the white European Spaniards and Portuguese that came over. And that eventually, that blending of Peninsulares and what they called Creoles, the whites who were born in the colonies, eventually gave rise to a new race by the time we get to modern day. So, in a sense, anyone who is Hispanic has a significant amount of what you would think of as white European ancestry too, because of how that kind of all came to be. Which is why a lot of times in some surveys you'll find sometimes they refer to. You'll see, in fact, a lot of times in Georgia, if you're looking at statistics gathering stuff in education, like here's a standardized test, bubble in your race so that we can match it up statistically with other people. It'll say white Hispanic or white non-Hispanic as the two options. There isn't a regular white, there isn't a regular Hispanic. It's all under white in some phrase or another, which is kind of an oddity. Most pods defended, lipidated.
It's one of those things because, like, my dad's side of the family is where my Cherokee comes from. Enough that I qualify to be part of the Delaware tribe. And
nice.
Yet, my dad's side of the family is the side where we're pure Swiss. And so, my dad's dad was
jumping
one of the
Droid
first
Run.
ones in the family born here.
Huh.
So is it going to give me like a little triangle thing saying to join, or?
Should give you some. Yeah, I'm trying to jump over to it. I'm going to the menu now.
Okay.
Okay. That's cool.
But yeah, I mean, you look at me and I'm as white can be, but you never know I'm Cherokee based off my skin tone alone. So that's one thing, like, it always cracks me up when people talk about white privilege and stuff like that. I'm like, well,
yeah.
Not everybody's as white as you guys would like to think.
There you go. There we go. All right, so we're wait, but okay, yeah, you're all on there. I was like, where is he? Are you queued though? Are you stuck in the queue though? Because
no, I'm joined.
Okay, cool. Because it says joining, but
I've done this one a few times, and it's actually kind of fun. I get a kick out of this one.
Yeah, the fact that they kind of walk around, and it's the try to capture 3 at a time thing as opposed to capture 1 each time kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, and with these, it really comes down to who you're playing against. Like I was saying earlier, it's like when you're up against what feels like a team of 4 or 5 individuals that know their shit.
Yeah.
You're like, this isn't fun. I want to be on your team.
Come on, man.
Can't we all just get along? Damn.
Yep. I guess this is something to point out for those who haven't played the game, just looking at this here. When we're playing Droid Run, when we're playing like we were just doing with Drop Zone, those are like smaller versions. And we are in mid-game, I think, again. Those are smaller versions of the different maps for the different locations. There's also a bigger map which is used for like Supremacy, Walker Assault, and so forth. So those who are making the argument, well, this game only has 4 maps, now it's 5 because of Jakku, but it's still just 4. That's the number of planets, but it's not the number of maps. There are multiple maps on each planet. You can make the same argument about something like Destiny. I mean, they've got Mars, Earth, the Moon, Venus. Now we got the Dreadnought, but amongst all those locations, there are a ton of different locations you can also choose play as maps on the different modes, on the different multiplayer modes. And it's the same thing as here. There are certain modes that only use certain maps. Oh, balls!
How do I switch from this grenade thing? That's there we go. Okay. I figured it out just in time. To
like
shot.
that. Yeah, like that. Whatever you just did, like that. All right. Well, okay. It was a detonator. I was like, that didn't work worth a shit. I got these things on too tight on my ears. Shot in the back, and I'm to blame. I was very impressed.
I like the caves.
Yeah.
The caves are cool. As somebody who caves a lot, I really, really appreciate the attention to detail they put with the caves in there.
Nice.
Hey!
Hey! Oh, there you are.
My own guy shooting me in the face.
Well, you can't get hurt for being shot in the face by your own people, though.
Okay, well, then somebody else was shooting me then because he was shooting at me and I was getting hurt. I'm like, what the hell?
All right, where's the droid? There's a droid. Claim the droid! Quick, use the droid as a shield. Claim it. There we go. Now run like a little bitch. Yay! It says share this event. What event? What did I do that was an event?
Ran like a bitch award.
Mother. I was very impressed the other day, by the way. Wasn't it your son that was singing, Gavin was singing Bon Jovi without realizing it? There you go.
He didn't even have a clue where you're like, nice Bon Jovi. He's like, who's Bon Jovi?
Yeah. So we're talking about. Get that 1980s vibe going. Kill some Ku Klux troopers down here, as Angry Joe calls them.
Somebody's shooting my guys, but he won't step out around that corner, and I don't want to fire to point out that I'm there. Come on, fool.
Capturing it now.
There we go. Okay, I'm capturing a droid.
I'm over by
Slowly
C.
but surely, I'm
C
capturing a droid. I'm at B droid.
C.
Infantry turret will help us.
But like, I wish the enemies showed up more on the radar. But then at the same time, I'm afraid of that because
you would show up.
Players would just, targeting me all the time. I'd just be no chance in hell.
Well, this radar actually runs a lot like the one in Destiny does to some degree. I mean, you can still see certain things on the actual map, which Destiny doesn't do really. But from the standpoint of, you got the little red on the edges and, the different brightness and whatnot is helping to represent where they are. Gonk. I'm just like walking around the Gonk droid protecting it right now.
Now I have a feeling
hey Gonk droid.
Good person figured out
Gonk
where
droid.
we are and is about to creep up behind us.
Gonk droid, it's a long way to Alderaan. I said it's a long way to Alderaan. You freaking Gonk droid. Maybe I got to be touching it. All right, for those who are not listeners to Rebels Roundtable, you're like, what? Blood sisters, you have to touch the Gonk droid.
He had a great puffer pig reference last night, and Riley's like, "That's a Star Wars." I mean, you don't listen to Rebels Roundtable. That's a double thing right there. He's doubling down on referencing.
Yep. Come on now, we got two of them.
Because we were asking who your favorite character was, and Bruce's was the puffer pig. I was like, yes.
What? Bruce needs a slap. Bruce needs a slap. Bruce from Cloud City Casino.
Yeah.
Needs a slap.
I laughed so hard when he said that. I'm like, yes.
Get over there.
What's up, partner?
Ooh,
I was
like
trying to do
area.
the salute, and instead I yahooed.
Well, yeah, this area is somebody rigged this up good, dude. There's auto
I
turrets.
did. I dropped the blaster cannon you're standing in front of. I dropped, and because there was a power up next to it, and as soon as I grabbed the power up, I dropped an infantry turret. So now I'm just kind of like.
Oh, that's you again.
But of course now we only have control of one, so we really need to get control of more. Eat it!
Yeah,
Did it work? It didn't work. Critical kill assist. Awesome. All these bones and stuff, you would think that if this was an actual base, they would clear out some of the bones. Oh shit, they are coming up on us. Out of that far corner. I don't know what just happened to you, but I heard that. Heard a what?
I turned around, the guy had a bead right on me. I'm like, ah!
Actually, I wonder. Oh, you can't see it. You can't turn yourself around. I was curious if these guys were breathing, breathing a little bit of steam because of the cold.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Where's Leia? This is the one map or the one planet where her outfit actually makes sense in this game.
Keep up the pressure. They're down to their last droid.
Oh!
Oh, it's right.
That was hard.
Weaver is on me.
That was crazy. I threw an explosive that should have killed this guy, but instead he rocketed away and got very, very close to where I was.
Oh, yeah, he landed right on me and shot me in the face. They're all over!
They're all over me, man!
Everywhere! And I've got no shield and my gun's heating up! Damn it! Oh, I got him in the face after all. Yay!
Game over, man! Game over!
Oh, you son of a man! Oh, Arkman got me.
So you are in the midst of reading something that I finished reading a little while ago, which is Battlefront Twilight Company.
Yes.
Much as I love the idea of an interesting, dark interpretation of Star Wars. I mean, that's what we did years ago. That's why we did Second Strike, the audio drama, was because Star Wars did not really have any fan productions or even really many books that were dark until the Clone Wars books like Shatterpoint started coming out. So dig the fact that it's dark, but does it feel like that game has any relation whatsoever to what we're playing right now? The game that it is that novel is theoretically based on.
There was not the right now part. I don't know. I'm not that deep. They just started the main attack on Hoth where I'm at. But when you were doing some of the earlier stuff, where you're going out and looking for the scouts and stuff, I felt like I was actually playing as Namir for a second. I'm like, ooh, this is kind of cool.
Okay, so it's an atmospheric thing more than anything else, you think? Yeah.
Yeah, and they left it pretty open with Namir's character. There's a couple guys up on that top ridge. I don't know if you're...
I'm way over. I'm inside the cave. By C. Oh, got blown up too. Because I had a snow trooper come around the corner, a Ku Klux trooper. Somebody asked in the chat why an XJV in XNB is going to have to tell me at some point what I should call him or her, because he's shown up a couple times and I haven't had no idea how to pronounce anything. But why am I bald? Because I just wanted to have another character that I could tell between. I didn't want to necessarily use the helmet for the Rebel. And he reminds me of somebody. I want to say it's almost like Bryan Cranston. There we go. Victory. And we are number 5 and 6 out of 6. We were great that time. Really.
We were such productive members of the team.
Man, we were the Joe Bidens or the Dan Quayles of that team, weren't we?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so got a preference on another mode? We've been bouncing between modes here. We're at about an hour 16.
Let's see.
And while we choose another mode, let me do a quick check.
Oh, rank 12! Yay!
You're almost there.
Oh, yeah, dude, yeah.
Yeah, for those who are wondering why I stepped away, I'm just checking to make sure I don't have any students needing anything. It is the weekend, but as an online teacher, they can work on the weekends. Looks like they're actually good. So I'm back. Let's jump out of this mode, jump to another one.
Yeah, let's see what...
As I cough into the microphone like a jackass. Pick a mode, any mode. Except for Turning Point, because you can't play it. Ah, you suck. Just kidding. Just kidding. Please don't kill me. And with me, like an a-hole who teases me on Battlefront, it's... Alright, so we've played, we haven't played Cargo in this round. We haven't played Hero Hunt. We haven't played Blast or Supremacy, but we could play just about anything.
Yeah, let's do Cargo.
Cargo. Also known as Capture the Flag. And for some reason on my little bar up at the top of the menu, all the icons for all the players, including myself, have disappeared. I can still go up there and highlight somebody, but it gives me the name and a blank spot where their avatar should be.
That's weird. He's glitching out, yes, no.
Yeah. Oh well. Alas and alack, as they say. All right, so you're reading Battlefront now. What's next for you? Is it Lost Stars?
Yeah, I believe so. That's going to be the one I think I'm going to jump right onto.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I did pre-order my The Force Awakens audiobook with my Audible credit.
Oh, nice.
So I've got that already done. I'm like, ooh. And I was like, do I listen to the audiobook and then watch the film? Right? That was the question I had for myself, but I answered it because I'm watching it on the 17th, and the audiobook doesn't come out till the 18th. I'm like,
there you go.
Well, then I guess I don't have a choice. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I haven't even considered... I'm still looking for friggin' tickets because the Fayetteville, Georgia theater that I usually go to still is under renovation, so right now the latest you can... the latest you can get pre-sale tickets for at the moment is still December 10th, so I still have probably another week. Brandon Going Ham, that is Brandon, who was actually in one of my classes before I moved to Fulton Virtual, asking about how the online teaching is coming. It's actually coming really well. We're expanding quite a bit, so if you have an interest in taking, like, economics, for instance, online, I'm over all the social studies classes right now. If we bring in somebody new, I'll probably still be over economics, though. It's a very different beast. I do a lot of traveling to different schools. I'm handling classes from 6th grade all the way up through 12th, so it's a very different thing. I only wish there were more AP classes available because right now the AP classes that are offered for social studies are freshmen and sophomore. It's basically AP Human Geography and World History. They don't have any U.S. History AP or any Economics AP available through our platform, Edgenuity, which kind of stinks. Stephen Elliott Catamon Schneider says, not reading Before the Awakening until after seeing The Force Awakens. I'm going to read it when I get the time. If that means before the film, yes. If that means after the film, yes. It really just sort of depends on when I'm able to get it, because I'm so far behind on summaries for the timeline. Like, I finished Battlefront, Battlefront Twilight Company. I still have to go through and summarize that. I've got some comics that I'm falling behind on summarizing already. And now I've read Perfect Weapon, Face of Evil, and High Noon on Jakku, both of which I now have to summarize. And I've got 2 more of those new ebooks sitting there. Uh-oh. Oh, you camping motherfucker. Or, mother, what's the one from Bad Boys? Mother bitch? I know, now I shouldn't be saying that because we got students in the feed, but it's uncensored. Yeah, I definitely agree with B. Hauer 1138 that yes, Lost Stars so far to me, absolute best new Star Wars canon novel by far. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. That's the last one of the Disney Press ones, aside from the Art Therapy book that I need to post a review of on StarWarsReport.com. Mark will be getting it soon. We finally got it set up so that Disney Press will also send review copies to me instead of just Del Rey. So now that is done, blast it. Now that that's done, they sent me the Art Therapy book, Moving Target, Weapon of the Jedi, Smuggler's Run, and Lost Stars. But I already had all but the Art Therapy book, so I have sent Lost Stars over to Mark. So hopefully he will soon get to get to read it, and then together we can cover it on Beyond the Films. But I'm betting it probably won't be until after the new year, because we're coming up on needing to record all of our year-end review shows. We've got 2 episodes probably to record tonight about Kanan the Last Padawan, with Jonathan Brenner being aboard, and then from Rebels Roundtable, and then we'll move into probably have to move straight from there into the year-end review, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll have to cover everything but The Force Awakens, I guess, initially, depending on when we record, because The Force Awakens still has a little bit to go before it comes out, though not that long, actually. You got somebody to your left. Back and to the left. Back and to the left. As
was a clown.
JFK would say. And I was looking for where I could escort. The little icon kept disappearing. Let's see, Dark Disciple still... Yeah, Dark Disciple I would say is a close second.
I really have
we been reading Kanan First Blood? I have. Have you been... Now, understand the way that this works tends to be that I'll get the digital copy on the day it comes out, and I have them ordered through Things from Another World, but I have them coming to me monthly. So depending on how close a release is to that month mark, that's when they'll send out the package through UPS to me. And whenever I get a physical copy of the comic in my hand, it's got that digital copy that comes with it, but I've already gotten the digital copy, I will give that code to Mark. And for some of them, I have some Marvel subscription copies coming that get beaten up in the mail, and I give those extra codes to Brock from Star Wars Action News, who also shows up from time to time on Rebels Roundtable. So I don't know. I can't remember if I even have any First Blood issues in physical form where there would have been a digital code to give to Mark yet. Mark, how far along are you on Kanan?
So I go down, and when they come out, all the new Star Wars comics, I give them the old flip through the first one that I do, where I'm not really reading it, but I'm just kind of like looking at the pictures kind of thing, loosely looking at it. And then I'll go back when you give me the code and actually go through and read it. But then I'm still buying the physicals because I like being able to hold it, have it open, all that kind of stuff, have it on my shelf. So I'm still doing that 3-read process that I was always doing at the beginning of Beyond the Films when we were doing comics. So that hasn't changed. What's changed is how close to that back-to-back read is. You know, I used to, before I would have the comic and I'd do the flip through, and then like the next day I'd go back and reread it, and then like the third, you know, before we would record, I'd read it one more time. Well, now that's spread out over a couple months, you know, like a month or 2 months versus in 1 week.
Right. Blown up.
But yeah, eventually the goal is that I'll be getting the same books from the new publisher. Also, oh crap, made right underneath my butt.
Had a guy basically attack me and I blew him up.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit before I get those as well. So eventually that's the goal, is that I'll be able to get those too, and we'll be able to cover more. But yeah, there's still a butt ton of Legend stuff that we still got to finish and stuff. And time and editing has been the biggest pain in the butt.
Yeah, it's almost like at times it feels like we've gone bi-weekly without ever meaning to. But that's what I would say. You know, it's a hobby, so you know, just kind of you got to kind of go with it. Let's see.
October, we skipped that whole month because of the whole selling the house process. My whole garage was torn completely apart. I didn't dare go down and podcast. I had to keep canceling for David Senden. We were trying to do some recordings, and I just had to keep pushing it off because every time we go to record, they were in there with power tools, and I'm like, oh man.
Yep. So Terry Cleary in the chat notes that there was a lot of hype about Aftermath. Terry was very hyped about Aftermath and almost didn't want to read Lost Stars and was very glad to have changed the mind on that whole thing. I think that was probably the most frustrating thing, the most disappointing thing about Force Friday, aside from, you know, just the quality of Aftermath in general, the fact that Aftermath didn't meet the expectations, was written like by somebody who apparently didn't understand middle school grammar and so on, as we talk about in the upcoming episodes of Beyond the Films. But I think the most disappointing thing about it is that we had some really good other books that were released. Smuggler's Run was pretty good, though not super essential. Moving Target was terrific. Weapon of a Jedi was very good as well. And then we got Lost Stars, which is probably the best new canon novel to date. But they were all released in the shadow of Aftermath because they were released on the same day. And I think that's very unfortunate because a lot of people dismiss them as, oh, those are young adult books, I don't need to read those, and gave up on it without ever actually giving them a shot, which sucks because those are some really well-done books. I think at this point, between Moving Target, and I said this in the review on StarWarsReport.com for Moving Target, but based on Moving Target and Battlefront and the Princess Leia miniseries, I'm thinking that at this point, Nine Numb is becoming a far more essential character than he ever was in the Legends continuity. Nine Numb is now kind of like he's super badass, man. He's kind of like the leader of the Northern Alliance going up against the Taliban kind of guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't throw it far enough. Thermal imploder, and it didn't wind up killing anyone. That sucks, because thermal imploders are awesome. Come on. Waiting for my health to regenerate.
Yeah, the Force Friday thing, I think what's frustrating for me there is, you know, you have so many people that are talking crap about Legends, you know, there was all the quantity and no quality. And yet Force Friday kind of felt like the same thing. It was like, bam, here's, you know, 20 books, but only 6 of those books are actually relevant to anything going on right now. And it's like, that's the same approach we had before. Mm-hmm. And the fact that everybody's just talking the praises about how great canon is right now, which, you know, a lot of the stories have been good. But at the same time, if you look at Force Friday and you take all those 20 books and calculate out which of those were the really good books and which of those are stories that we really didn't need, and you look at that as, you know, the same thing with what we have with the EU, and it's like, that's the same process. A shit ton of books that not all of them were really great stories that were needed to be told. I fear that if we have that same approach, within 25 years, we're going to be right at that same spot where everyone's talking about, well, the EU is just so weighed down and oh, burden-laden. Okay, well, we're on the same approach to that happening all over again. If you hated it before, why aren't you hating the approach right now?
Yep.
It just boggles my mind. I'm like,
I think it's because their argument would be that the stuff that we're seeing right now, we haven't seen enough of it to make that kind of judgment call yet, I think. But give it time, and we will be able to make it, and it seems like that judgment call is on the way. Question from Steven in the chat. Says, didn't it feel like the Kanan comics may be canonizing Shatterpoint? I wouldn't go that far. The fact that Depa Billaba went through something and we need to know a little bit more about it, I think certainly is sort of a nice sidelong reference to a similar event. But remember, just because something is referenced doesn't make that whole story canonical. And we know that at this point Shatterpoint is not, so it's kind of like kind of a good news, bad news kind of thing. Like, it's good that they might be referencing it, but it's bad because it might cause people to assume that it's all in. Okay, son,
I got the package.
Go, you got the package and you're gonna die. Misa thinking Mark is gonna die? If I can kill this damn trooper that's trying to kill me, I can get it. Oh, shit! Okay, he threw that way further than I ever threw. He threw it as the blast doors were closing, and it just kept going and landed behind me as I was backing away from it, which probably is not the best thing to do. All right, so we need to do a return and a grab.
I really am enjoying Kanan. Kanan is probably one of my favorite comics right now.
Really?
I like that it's keeping the prequel trilogy alive in its roundabout sense.
See, I think you and I are going to have...
enjoying Kanan's story.
We're going to record tonight about Kanan, but I guess this is a good note that we're going to wind up having some differences of opinion when we do it, because to me, Kanan, if that wasn't a story about Kanan Jarrus, if that was any other Padawan, I wouldn't care. It doesn't feel like a compelling story to me if it's not Kanan. So it's kind of it's almost like, the Princess Leia miniseries. If that wasn't Leia, would we have read it? Hell no, it was a horrible miniseries.
Yeah.
Then again, if it wasn't, I said if it wasn't Leia, as I said so many times on our review for that episode, that's not Leia. It's not even Leia's characterization anyway for Leia in that book, or in that miniseries. But I kind of digress. Here we go. Yeah, it'd be very interesting to find out where the influences for First Blood come from. Whether there are influences back to Shatterpoint, or if it's just a random reference, because Shatterpoint itself was referencing Heart of Darkness. Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness, not a Star Wars story, because I'm sure there's a Star Wars story called Heart of Darkness somewhere.
There's Heart of the Jedi.
Yeah, but Heart of the Jedi isn't even Legends. Heart of the Jedi was canceled. It just happens to be being put online at this point. I think it's actually finished being put online, right?
It is. It's done. Yep. Good. They just wrapped it up.
Yep. That's Joe's side, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right though with Kanan though. If it would have been anyone else, I don't think we necessarily would care as much. But I'm enjoying the story.
Screw that.
Like, okay, if it was a new Jedi, maybe I might want to follow that Jedi based on what we're getting in the story. But I really am digging Kanan's character. We were talking about this with Barrett. Barrett's not liking him, and
well, not anymore. All of a sudden, Kanan. You guys will find this whenever you listen to the episode that we just recorded for Followers of the Force. All of a sudden, Barrett is virulently anti-Kanan. He's like, Kanan doesn't need to exist anymore because of Ahsoka kind of stuff. That was a shock to me.
It's like he went to Singapore and he thinks Kanan is synonymous for Kanin.
That's a little bit of a stretch, but no more of a stretch than our jokes on Beyond the Films half the time, or on Rebels Roundtable most of the time.
Yep.
All right, come on. I'm totally ignoring the.
Stop.
Oh, nope.
Did you make it?
Yeah, I made it, and I just. Oh crap! I thought that was a. Yeah, I was over too far to the side. I thought I was jumping towards the balcony, and I just jumped and splattered myself Wile E. Coyote style into the wall. And you just got
right
shot in the back.
Chicken.
Yeah, he got me.
Yep, Battle Chicken's right.
Battle Chicken. Although maybe he named himself after. There you go. Every time I think Battle Chicken, I gotta bust that out. Okay, the Imperials have got our thingy. I need to remember how to get to the thingy. Well, probably because...
Oh, I remember that. It's in the back.
I don't even remember the... There it is.
It's down the hall. So you go down the hall and turn...
Well, no, they don't have ours. It says defend. It says defend. I'm going to be going to lose anyway. Yep, here we go.
I earned a trophy.
Ooh.
In defeat, I earned a trophy. I wonder what that defeat was.
Probably complete X number of rounds.
The one knee approach.
There we go. Steven asks, how funny would it be if Heart of the Jedi were secretly canon and Lucasfilm asked for it to be released that way to connect it to The Force Awakens?
That'd be funny.
That'd be quite cool. I haven't read any of it because I was waiting for the entire thing to be done, and I've got so much, canonical and even legend stuff still to read. I've got 3 Fantasy Flight games just kicked my butt. I'm going to jump aside. You want to go to Starfighter again?
Yeah.
Sure. Fighter Squadrons.
Sure.
Fantasy Flight games kicked my butt in the sense that they came out with 2 new adventure modules and 1 new source book, basically 1 each for their 3 different RPG lines within the span of about a week of each other. And I haven't had a chance to read through any of them or gather any data for the timeline at all from them, which sucks. I think one of the most amusing things about this game is letting it sit and just seeing all the kind of stuff that happens whenever it goes to that screensaver type thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, 3PO was out chewing out R2 the other day. I was like, what the hell?
Steven, I don't recall off the top of my head, when is Heart of the Jedi set? Like, what year? I've learned my lesson, and now I'm using a straw. So I'm not smacking the microphone with my drink constantly.
You've got the Turtle Beach Sand Trooper, right?
Yes, I do.
Dude, that thing is glorious looking.
Yep. I just need to change the settings so it's not hurting my neck quite as much. I need to get a slightly higher chair. I had that new TV set up. So now I'm looking up a little bit more to see all the stuff on the screen. And it gives me a little bit of a crick in my neck eventually. I have to either sit on the edge of the bed behind me or something. But sitting on the edge of the bed makes it harder for the camera to get me. Oh, wow, so it's immediately after, he says 4 ABY, so it's immediately after Return of the Jedi and Truce at Bakura, basically, then. Cool.
It had a look of Truce at Bakura with the cover.
Nice. Can't judge a book by its cover! Come on now!
True that.
As we found with so many comics that have great covers and garbage inside art.
Oh, man, ain't that the truth?
La, la,
Damn your
la.
Millennium Falcon!
I'm looking to see if I can spot the power-up that'll get me the Slave One, but I imagine somebody probably already has it.
See, this is what frustrates me. Okay, I had the Falcon locked. I'm still holding down the lock button. He evasive maneuvered behind me, and I've lost my lock. I'm like, I just want to follow him.
Well, that's the point of the evasive maneuvers, right? Whoa! Almost ran into a wall there. I think the 180 is a good defensive maneuver. I'm not sure so much about the other ones. Like the one where you hit the up button actually seems like it's kind of useful. Oh, my freaking... I locked onto the Millennium Falcon, but my missiles were not ready yet.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I almost wish that we had one more secondary attack kind of thing. Like, at least the rebels get the shields.
Well, we've got a boost. We got the speed boost that helps to a degree.
That helps with evasive maneuvers, especially. Darn you, Black Hot USA.
Oh, killed. I got
Marine Corps.
something. I got some kind of award or something, and immediately it blinked off the screen because I died.
Oh, that's tragic.
Well, balls. Hey, there you are. Destroy the transport. Does it hurt inside shooting at the Falcon? No, not really. just because, you know, it's hard enough to get into any kind of mindset of being in character while playing this game because there's so little characterization to anything that, I mean, the only thing you can do is just root for your side.
On the other side. Yeah. The next round will be on the other side, too. It's like, that's the part about it, like, because it switches back and forth, I feel like I can't be loyal to one side or the other.
What? Whoa. There we go. Oh! Oh! I just had a guy basically kamikaze into me to kill me. I took out the Falcon, I think, or at least helped take out the Falcon, and then in comes Asshat clipping my wing, and I think we both died. And I don't even think it was real. I think it said killed by X-Wing, which means it wasn't even a player. I think.
Yeah, I've had a few of those.
You were killed by a bot. That's how bad you suck, Nate. You were killed by a bot.
I had the Imperial transport one time. I hit it headlong, and as I crashed, I watched myself go all the way through it. I'm like, dude, that was sick.
Yeah, graphically, I mean, this is one of the best games, not just for Star Wars, but one of the best console games yet.
Yeah.
But, you know, it just doesn't have that ongoing depth. There you are. Oh! As I turned to come around to you, I was killed by an A-Wing flown by a
X-Wing
character.
just hit me, but nope, killed by Ranger. I flew through an X-Wing, but I got shot.
Nice.
But at least we're winning.
Take out that rebel transport immediately. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Roger that, Skipper.
Skiprit? What's a skiprit?
It's a female version of the Skipper.
A skipper-et? That's sexist. Oh, mother.
I don't do well with politically correct.
No kidding. There you go. Oh, and that was victory. That was our victory point right there. Blowing that guy up. And yes, once again, we are low in the standings. I only killed one human. You didn't kill a single human.
But I killed 2 robots. You didn't kill any. So that balances out. My 2 to your 1.
Okay, fine. Whatever. Wow, and everybody who got on the leaderboards was somehow connected to Assassin's Creed. That explains a lot.
See, that's how I got on the leaderboard, was through this. I was the one that was attacking the transport all the time, so I was on it twice. I was like, oh my God, I'm awesome! That was definitely the best ego thing, was like, I finally made the leaderboard! It was like 3 in the morning and there was only 5 people on, I'm sure, but...
Yep. Alright. Now we should be the rebels this time. I love how even on Fighter Squadron it gives you a chance to check your star card hand and your unlocks, as if that has any bearing whatsoever on Starfighter combat.
Yeah. Yeah, right?
Okay, am I going to be the bald guy in the cockpit, or am I going to be a guy with hair in the cockpit? Say what now?
Oh, I was just talking about, like, no, I don't want to play right now. I want to get the star card.
Yep.
Oh,
wow.
I do like, though, on the inside of the cockpits, though, how the glass is all scratched up and stuff when you do accidentally go first person.
Yeah, I just realized that...
I'm going to go first person. I'm gonna do this whole level first person. And see
all right, I guess I'll do that, too, since they can't see you. They'll see me. Time to die!
I'm in an A-wing, and it's definitely weird.
Cool. I'm in an X-wing, and I'm like...
definitely an immersion.
Whoa! Man, locking on when you're like this is
a
a
see the reflection of yourself, though. Do you see the reflection of yourself in the little targeting computer? In the X-wing, you have it. I don't.
Oh, cool.
There's a little reflection of yourself in the one on the right, I believe.
Almost
like every now and again, you'll see your pilot sitting in the seat.
I'm gonna make people throw up the way that I'm flying in the X-wing. Oh, and even when you do evasive maneuvers, you're still in the cockpit. That's awesome. I'm trying to remember, because even in Rogue Squadron, if you did the evasive maneuvers, if I remember correctly, it threw you out of the cockpit.
Yeah, it did. Well, I like how the sun hits the glass and it reflects. Like, it was distracting at first.
Whoa! Okay, and apparently I bounce off the... I'm not sure where the bottom of my ship is compared to where the cockpit is, so I just managed to blow myself up by running my ship's belly onto the ground. Yeah, I really don't like first person for Fighter Squadron.
Yeah, definitely feel I feel vulnerable.
Yes. Because I tend to juke around a lot, and juking around in this mode is garbage.
So when you're juking, down by where your life says 100 and stuff, do you see your pilot sitting in the X-Wing?
I don't know if I can see it or not. I'm not able to tell well enough.
Oh, your TV's a little smaller than mine. Yeah,
my TV is
2 little screens.
Is big for me.
And on one of them, you can see back over yourself. It's like it's a cam from the joystick.
Nice. Yeah, Mark went out and bought a 55-inch television when he bought the PS4. So finally, I turned to my wife and said, "Honey, we've got to upgrade the TV, but we're in an apartment, so we got to fit it on the dresser that we have here." So I measured the dresser, figured out exactly what's the maximum width that we can have, and then went and I was looking at TVs not by the size of the screen, but I was looking at what's the maximum width with the stand of how they have to sit. There we go. I'm back in first person now and gonna die. But yeah, so we're at a 32-inch, 33-inch now. Oh, you took my kill.
This is a lot harder in first person.
Isn't it, though?
Just finding anybody is a pain in the ass.
I just went almost into the belly of the Millennium Falcon for a moment.
I know, I'm really low to the ground. My wife's like, "You're going to crash." I'm like, I didn't even realize I was that low to the ground.
Pull up! Oh, crap, pull up! Let's see. Yeah, Steven asks, what about first person for Heir to the Jedi? See, that first person I liked. I thought that was pretty cool, being able to get into Luke's head in Heir to the Jedi. I'd like more Star Wars first person stories. First person flying? No. At least not this kind of first person flying. It'd be pretty cool to get like a new X-Wing novel where it's told in first person, though, but we kind of got that with iJedi. And we got at least enough of Corran. Oh, forgot there's a shield, not a boost.
I'd love to see make the crossover to canon. And they could totally make him
Hello,
different. I would be okay with that.
Ah!
Oh, I almost felt cool. I shot a TIE fighter and he blew up, but I got no credit for that.
Blown to
bits. Boba Fett! Red clear power!
Nice!
His unlimited power went right up my butt. It did not feel good. Right,
oh, Boba Fett killed you. I thought you were saying that Boba Fett was you. I was like, yeah, you got Boba Fett.
No, I still haven't been that cool.
Alright. Oh! Killed by Boba Fett by red clear power as well. There we go.
Holy smokes.
There we go. Heading for the transport to attack if I can get there fast enough.
Oh, I'm blasting that sucker. Ooh, Boba Fett just tried to take me out. But I got hit by a TIE interceptor that just suicided me.
Yeah, I got killed by a TIE fighter and then something destroyed it behind me. But I put in that attack on the transports as quick as I could. Ooh, that's a good idea. Steven suggests, I mean, of course, we'd have to have starfighter combat in space instead of starfighter combat in the atmosphere. But he suggested, how about an asteroid field where you got to worry about exogorths, space slugs?
That'd be sick. That would be sick.
Boba Fett!
You know, I almost wondered that there was no campaign mode because they were going to give us the book Battlefront and that was the story.
But it has no relation to this. Not really.
Yeah.
I honestly think that a lot of the Sullust stuff, like throwing in the female trooper on Sullust, I love the fact there was a female trooper, and we got to see it from some of the troopers' point of view. But they barely do anything with that trooper to the point where I wonder why she even exists, unless it's just for, we're going to include a trooper, or we're going to include another woman, or we're going to include a female trooper and be all awesome, just like Wendig including a bunch of gay characters, at least to an extent, to try to balance out the diversity scales. I feel like female stormtrooper in Battlefront Twilight Company had damn near nothing to do except to be there so he could say, see, we got a female stormtrooper, give me some media attention.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
How? Oh, I had less deaths, well, that's why. I'm like, how did I get lower than you? You had more kills.
My freaking ears. There we go.
Yes. Dude, try having this stinking cut stock with an earbud in your ear. God, I've had to switch it 2 times. My ear aches.
That's what I use. That's what I use. The little tiny earbud thing that comes with the PS4 is what I used the first few times I did any raids on Destiny. And yeah, that got real old real fast. Let's see. Let's try a different mode. Let's try. I don't know. I might as well jump into Supremacy. I haven't done a Supremacy match in ages. I'm not even sure I remember how Supremacy works. It's been so long since I actually played around with it.
That's the one that's everything, right? It's completely, you can...
It's like, yeah, it's capture points, but yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no, okay, yeah. Okay.
It's like Walker Assault with different requirements. Like it's the large maps, it's capture points. It was like the one where you had to capture all the points. Wait, are you in or not?
Kill everyone.
Did you get in or not?
No, I don't think I got in.
You're cute?
No.
Okay, I'll have to jump out so we can try it again.
Yeah, I didn't see the thing. I see it now, though, except...
Will it let you?
Yep, it was... No, it's full.
It's full, yeah.
Player 1-on-1.
Alright, yeah, give me just a second. Ow, my ear. I think my sinuses are inflamed or something, because it's extra painful wearing this thing. Which usually isn't the case. Come on. Come on. Okay, and now go ahead and pull yourself out of that queue, because otherwise, as soon as I quit, you're going to jump in.
I'm out of it already. I'm in the main multiplayer mode.
Okay. Battlefront. R2-D2.
My friend John's online, but he only has a PlayStation 3. I jumped in.
Alright, do we want to try Supremacy again?
But not free. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Now that it's going to pop up a thing saying
It
join,
should.
right?
It should.
Right, there it is. Accept that.
There we go. Now we're both in. On the Imperial side.
Yeah.
Cool.
See, I like the armor.
Sullust.
I like the logo of the Empire, but I always see myself as like, if I was in universe, I'd probably be one of the guys that defected from the Empire. You know, have all the really cool gear and then move over to the better side. The morally just side.
Yeah,
I'd
probably.
be the Tycho.
I would like to think that I would. That, or I'd be an Imperial politician and be like Frank Underwood from House of Cards, just in the Empire. I'd be constantly turning and talking to no one. You thought I'd forgotten you, didn't you? Oh, maybe you just wish I had. We just finished up Season 2 finally and started Season 3 last night. I'd seen Season 2 ages ago, but my wife, Jody, hadn't. So she finally got a chance to see the end of Season 2, and now we're picking up 3. And she's like, oh, I guess the villain in this season is going to be the wife. I was like, uh-oh. Honey, don't get any ideas. Now, I'm assuming that X1, X2 thing, the contested thing, the number is how many of
your troops.
How many of their troops are there?
Guy.
But it's how many of their troops, right? I don't know.
I always thought it was ours. I thought it was how many people we have there.
I'm so glad the game actually explains everything.
There's 4 of us, and there's just one of him, and it said ×4.
There you go. I like that. Steven's suggestion. House MD of Cards. So House of Cards with the dude from House in it. Hugh Laurie in it.
Nice.
The solution to every political matter until they figure out that it's not is lupus. Because that seems to be what happens on that show, is everything is lupus until it's not. There we go. TIE Interceptor time. Except I'm not entirely sure how useful the starfighters even are in this. I mean, you can go after other starfighters for supremacy.
I was playing this the other day, and somebody was strafing everyone on the ground, and it was like, oh my god, there was 3 of them. It was damn near impossible to get around them.
Oh shit! I came around and smashed myself into one of the big cannon towers. Base capture streak. Okay. Thank you?
Yeah.
Oh! A-wing in the air!
The red dots.
Yep. I always think about how they would have to basically film this kind of stuff in certain points of like Hawaii or something if they were to do this for the films, just because of the needing that volcanic look. Such a cool
that's what I was
atmosphere.
Just gonna comment on. Like, I wasn't expecting Solus to look like this per se. From everything I remember from Legends. I mean, it's not like a big it's different, but they always were bundling or dwelling underground and stuff, which makes sense. But I'm like, dude, I don't know if I'd want to be dwelling underground on a planet that's this volcanic. We just lost the planet today because the lava just filled up all the chambers, and we lost the whole Warren.
Yeah. And those rock render creatures that apparently will eat stormtroopers for their armor, according to the Princess Leia comic. I mean, damn.
Yeah. Hot in a spot. There you are.
Oh. There you are.
With your very nice shiny jetpack.
Yep. But the only power-up I actually really cared about getting was the jetpack. And it took getting all the way to friggin' level 13. Whee!
I do have to admit, I hate when you get shot and have no idea where they're from. They're so far away sniping you butt with the homing missiles and stuff.
Yeah, somebody asked the other day on it was one of the Facebook pages when we were talking about this, asked a question about the we're talking about it's a sniper fest. They're like, oh well, what sniper rifle? No, you don't understand. Everything except for maybe 2 weapons might as well be sniper rifles.
Yeah. Oh, and then you got that card that homes in. You're like, oh, lovely.
Homing shot. Yep.
Yeah, and then there's the focus one where your targeting is better.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of stuff's where I get frustrated because I'm like,
yeah, but I mean, it's still
one.
you only get one at a time. I mean, it's it's at least not something where you're going to see someone armed with a ton of those types of things. But I mean, you can have your specialized loadouts. Like I've got a specialized loadout that I use just for the modes that require going after like ATSTs and such. Because I've got the ion grenade and the ion torpedo and the ion shot. Yeah, I was gonna partner start, but you're engaged in combat, so I can't. I'll have to just do regular start. No rock raiders in the game. Go, go, go!
I'll join up with you. Oh, but you're flying away. Look at how far you went.
My bad. Those who are about to die 1,000,000 times, we salute you. Oh, shit! That was awesome. I just looked over at a TIE fighter, smashed into a tower or something, and exploded and came down in like a rain of debris. Again, visually stunning.
Look at the engines of that Super Star Destroyer coming down into the smoke. They're glowing bright.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I was kind of surprised when I was playing, and you'll see this eventually, when you read Lost Stars, the end of the book, Lost Stars, explains a Star Destroyer crash on Jakku. And in the previews of The Force Awakens, it looks like there's just the one. But the Jakku maps on this game make it clear that there's at least one Corellian Corvette and at least a couple of different Star Destroyers that crash. To me, that kind of takes away from the end of Lost Stars if it's not just that one Star Destroyer crashing, you know?
Well, see, okay, I was thinking about that. A lot of people were talking about that. But I was on Endor, one of the Endors, and I was down by the edge of the boundary. I was by a lake, and I looked up, and there were 2 Star Destroyers parked above one of the Ewok village kind of things. But I was thinking about it, like, they were pretty damn low. I'm like, maybe the Empire was being really kind of like how they were with the Death Star, being overconfident, parking these things so down low into the atmosphere that the rebels just started dropping them left and right. That later they won't go into the atmosphere because of that.
Well, you've got the in Rebels, you have the whole thing where they take them into the atmosphere. The Star Destroyers are taking it much lower than you would normally expect.
Yeah.
Where's a rebel? Where's a rebel? Dang, he walked behind something. I forgot that smart rockets actually track. I guess that's why they're called smart rockets. I'm a dumb player, but it's a smart rocket.
Oh, I love walking behind something and finding the dead body of a rebel. Yes, I got him! But no, Dark Fox 1997, Goodyear killed me.
Damn it.
What's so good about 97?
Year I graduated.
Oh, really? Oh, so you're ahead. I think we're the same age, but you're a little bit ahead there. Because of my birthday being in October, I was class of 98. I would have enrolled, I guess, the year after you did because it was all based on birth dates back in Indiana.
Yeah, my sister was like that November, so we just missed school with each other the entire time. When I got into 6th grade, she got into 1st. Like, I graduated right when she became a freshman. Like, we never were in school. My school, they tore it down the year I was there. My class, our graduating motto was "Last in the Halls," because we were the last group of students that had gone through 3 of the years in the original building, and then they started tearing it down our senior year. And my sister was called the first in the halls because she was the first group that went into the school after they had completed her senior. They had the school completed, so they were the first ones to get to go through it all the way.
Nice.
Done. It's kind of weird.
So then you were like me.
When
you
we
were
talk about it, it's like school is different. I'm like she had a different school entirely because it was totally different. You were saying?
So you and I were both. We both would have been in school in some form. You would have been a senior. I guess I would have been a junior when the special edition trilogy came out. I was never much of a delinquent or anything, so I was always like, I'm going to school today. I'm not going to cut. I'm going to go to school today every single day. But those were the days where my mom, who was also a teacher, who was very much on making sure we went, was like, you know what? You've gone to school so much, you've even got like all these attendance bonuses because you've You've constantly been there. So on these days when the special editions come out, I'm going to call you in sick, and you can go with your friends to go watch the Star Wars films at the first showing. Did you go see them like during school hours?
No. So surprisingly, when the special editions came out, I had just graduated.
I guess I'm off by a little bit.
It.
Cool.
I remember going with my roommate and stuff. But yeah, no, it's funny because my mom was a teacher too, but I was the problem child. When I moved down here, my grandpa was an alcoholic, and my parents they socially drink, and so I was like, I'm not going to drink because part of our moving was my grandpa was a very abusive alcoholic. He would make me pack wood, and then he would go outside and berate me the whole time about how I wasn't doing it right. And got to the point where my mom, part of our moving was to get away from that. And when I moved down here, I was like, oh, I'm never going to drink. I'm going to be straight-laced. I'm not going to do any of this stuff. And one of my first friends that I met, he basically was like a foster brother because his parents got divorced, and my parents kind of like let him move in with us for a long time. But when I first went and hung out at his house, he kept trying to get me to drink. And this is 6th grade, right? My kids are the age I was when I started drinking. Yes, yeah.
Damn, son.
It makes me want to vomit. And so he went and took some pizza. Took the cheese off the pizza and put a bunch of those red crushed peppers on the pizza. Heated it up in the microwave, so I didn't realize that it had been tampered with. And so I'm eating my pizza, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so hot. And he's like,
that's the only thing to drink, right?
It was Everclear, dude. By the time I took a sip, and I weighed 70 pounds, I was shit drunk in like 30 seconds, man. And of course, as soon at that age, I was like, oh, this is awesome. So I was big into partying in high school.
He was the delinquent.
What do we call it? Senioritis. I had senioritis my freshman year, and it was like my mom did everything she could to get me through high school.
Freshmanitis.
Because I was like so busy I was busy into the social scene. I was the closet Star Wars fan. I mean, I loved it. My friends knew I loved it, but the girls around me had no clue, except for, like, if you were my girlfriend, you knew, because I would open up about that kind of crap. But my friends were always like, dude, you need to shut up, man. No girl's going to like you if you're digging Star Wars. It was still that taboo of social suicide.
No, two of us just ran for the door, and the door doesn't open. Oh, bad.
But yeah, it's like by the time I turned 21, I was so over all that kind of stuff. And so it's odd for me having my kids, because I'm like, you guys are not going to be doing that kind of stuff. And yet at the same time, I'm like, well, I was glad I got that out of the way, because I had other friends that became drunks after they were 21 and going to the bar all the time. And their lives just completely fell apart. But, dude, when my junior year, I had my life fall apart because of the same thing. I was just I'd gotten into some car wrecks and got prescribed Vicodin. I was drinking and having the Vicodin. Just, man, it got bad real fast.
Thankfully, we didn't have that happen with us. My wife, when she was my wife's a former Golden Gloves Georgia boxer, when she was in her teens, and that was when she had her kind of like, big party scene and everything, and fortunately she got out of that fairly safely. But I think a lot of that was the discipline from boxing, that she had to, no matter what she did, she had to keep herself in shape because otherwise she wasn't going to be able to compete. Not in terms of like being able to compete as like being let in to compete, but being able to actually win if she didn't keep herself in decent physical condition. All right, so we're at 2 hours. My ears are killing me. I think we may want to cut it here. Thank you all, of course, for watching the podcast / live stream here. Hope you found it, entertaining. Because we had the two of us here, you can, of course, hear both of us together on Star Wars Beyond the Films at StarWarsReport.com. You can also hear both of us as two of these several panelists on the Star Wars Report's Rebels Roundtable, talking about Rebels, also on StarWarsReport.com. Next upcoming episodes for Beyond the Films are 2 episodes about Aftermath. Next episodes should be coming from Rebels Roundtable are for Stealth Strike, and then Followers of the Force, and so on from there. Good time. Thank you so much for the questions and such in the chat. We will do this again sometime. I don't know when. I will definitely pop back on sometime during the week. I just don't know when, and hopefully we can get some folks on here, whether it's Mark or whomever. So thank you all for watching.
It was fun.